The Braves haven't been shut out at home all season, so naturally in the first game of the NLDS, they lose 3-0. Let's talk about it. So we've been waiting for this series for a while now. When the Marlins and the Phillies were matched up in the Wild Card series, most rational Braves fans would have expected the Phillies to win. We had a bit in the last podcast where we totally were on the Marlins side, but realistically, the Phillies are a much better team on paper than the Marlins. The Braves are a much better team on paper than the Phillies. The Phillies just have it. This is the second year in a row that the Phillies have come into Truist Park for the NLDS and just dominated the Braves in Game One. Spencer Strider was excellent. I was definitely on edge, especially after his start last year in Citizens Bank Park, where you had the infamous Rhys Hoskins bat slam. And on the very first pitch of the game, Kyle Schwarber hit a 111-mile double off the center field wall. And it didn't look great, but then a fielder's choice where Schwarber thought it was a great idea to go to third, and a double play by Alec Boehm ended the threat. Overall, Strider was as good as you can ask for an ace. He went 7 strong innings, he had 8 strikeouts. His 2 mistakes were trying to pick off Bryce Harper with 2 outs and 2 strikes, and that leading to the first run of the game, and then his homer to Bryce Harper. And let's just be honest, Bryce Harper is made for the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Braves just had no offense. They didn't get a hit until the 4th inning when Matt Olson hit a 2-out single. They had a walk. Ozzie Albies had a walk in the 2nd inning. That was erased on a caught stealing that I personally don't understand how they overturned it. I thought it was too close to call. And, MLB normally doesn't overturn calls that are too close, like they did later in the game. That might have been, had the Braves offense actually showed up, a decisive decision or decisive call. Ranger Suarez for the Phillies was excellent. I was shocked that Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, had a quick hook. I thought it would backfire on the Phillies. Clearly, it didn't. Jeff Hoffman, I believe, came in for Suarez in the 5th inning, and the Braves just they had no answer. It was tough. They had runners on. Of course they had no hits through the first 3 2/3 innings, but they had a runner on first and second a few times. They had the bases loaded. Michael Harris struck out to end that. They had this great opportunity in the 8th inning where Acuna walked, Austin Riley singled, and it just fell apart in 5 seconds. Matt Olson, had he pulled the ball, maybe we're talking about a game-tying homer. Instead, it was just a normal flyout, and Trey Turner made the play of his life. Grounder, hard hit grounder up the middle. Turner dives to his left. Great play, great flip to Bryson Stott, and the turn was perfect to get Albies in the threat. And after that, the Braves went quietly in the 9th inning. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the catcher's interference call in the 8th inning. I don't know. I think Sean Murphy's reaction was telling. He did look like he got hit on the pitch or on the swing, but man, there was nothing on that replay. Like I can't imagine there being enough room for it to hit his glove. I didn't see movement on the slow-mo replay. If you look hard enough, it looks like there's daylight. That cost the Braves a run, but again, they didn't score, so it's tough. I'm incredibly frustrated. This is the greatest regular season offense maybe ever. They had the highest WRC plus of any offense since the 1927 Yankees. They had a slugging over 500, the first team in Major League history to ever do that. And I know the National League is new to the DH, but the DH has been in existence since the 70s. American League teams could have done this, back when Roberto Clemente was still alive almost, and you know the Braves had the Braves were the first team to ever do it. So we're back where we started last year. Home field advantage, but a 0-1 series deficit. The Braves have the ace Max Fried going on Monday, so no game tomorrow. And Zach Wheeler's a very good pitcher. I think his ERA is a little deceptive. It's in the mid threes. He's kind of like a Strider. The ERA doesn't really represent how good of a pitcher Zach Wheeler is, and I hopped on right after the game ended. I didn't look into what Wheeler's stats are against the Braves, but it feels like DeGrom when Wheeler's on against the Braves. I don't know if it's because he's from Georgia and he's trying to prove something because the Braves didn't make him an offer back when he was a free agent or what, but he's been excellent against the Braves. It's going to be a great pitcher's duel. Of course, now that I've said that, the Braves are going to score like 10 runs off of Zach Wheeler in the first couple of innings, and we're laughing our way to Philadelphia with a 1-1 tie. But I mean, this was the best shot for the Braves to bank a win. The series is far from over, but the pitching matchup was the biggest deficit or biggest favor in favor of the Braves. Spencer Strider again, he did everything you could ask. You could get nitpicky and say, oh well, if he didn't, have that bad pickoff move that cost the Braves a run, or if he didn't allow that rocket shot to Harper. But at the end of the day, if your starting pitcher goes 7 innings in a playoff game and allows 2 runs, that's as much as you can ask for. So it's gonna be a tough series. Citizens Bank Park is a great ballpark for playoff baseball. I know that Phillies fans and Braves fans have been going over it on Twitter all week. Phillies fans saying that Braves fans don't show up. Braves fans calling Phillies fans trash. The fact of the matter is the Phillies have a great atmosphere. I'm not taking away from Truist Park. I'm not taking away from Braves fans, but if you historically, if you've ever not wanted to go to a place to avoid rowdy fans, it's Philadelphia. They have a bad reputation for opposing players. If you're a Phillies player, you want the Phillies fans on your side. If you're an opposing player, it's a tough atmosphere. Of course, the Braves in mid-September clinched there. They won 3 out of 4 against the better pitchers on the Phillies. Max Fried is going on Monday. We don't know who's going on Game 3 as of this moment. But AJ Smith-Shawver's looked really good. Bryce Elder, if you can get a few innings out of him, we're hoping for the best. This is the first podcast we've done since the NLDS rosters were announced. So the Braves made some interesting moves. Hopefully, they don't backfire. Daysbel Hernandez is on the postseason roster. He made some not starts. He appeared as a reliever in a few games back in July. Didn't pitch well. He had a 7 ERA, but it's really hard to make inferences off of 3 2/3 innings. You allow 2 runs and things look really bad for you. Kyle Wright is done for probably next year. Brian Snitker said in a press conference that his shoulder needs surgery, and not only will he be ruled out for spring training 2024, but he probably is out for the season. Michael Tonkin, if you read The House That Hank Built, I did a roster predictions for the NLDS roster. I thought that Michael Tonkin would be left off the roster. The Braves went with Tonkin over Chavez. Snitker said that Chavez wasn't pitching up to the potential that he can. I don't know if it's, that long layoff and that injury that he had. that took forever to heal when he broke his shin off of a line drive. Tonkin hasn't been great in September. His ERA was close to 8. I think it was above 8. But with all of the days off, you're only going to Tonkin if you're already down like 6-0 or 7-2 in like the 9th inning. We could nitpick rosters all day. Those are interesting decisions. Von Grissom also made the roster, and it's unlikely that he would get a plate appearance. The sequencing would probably go if Pilar starts and then Eddie Rosario came in like he did today, and then the Phillies counter with a lefty late in the game, and you wouldn't necessarily want to see Eddie in those situations. But again, these are like the last slots of the postseason roster. If Tonkin doesn't appear in a playoff game, if Deisbel Hernandez doesn't appear in a playoff game, if Von Grissom doesn't get into a game, it's not going to be shocking. What is shocking is that the Braves offense didn't show. And you can say all day, Strider shouldn't have allowed any runs, but you can't expect that from an ace. So one of us will cover after game 2. I think we're going to record both of us on Tuesday and talk about it, but wanted to hop on and do a quick game recap right after the game. Definitely a frustrating loss. But the Braves lost game 1 of the NLDS back in 2021. We all know what happened. So, subscribe. We'll be doing this hopefully until November as the Braves go on their playoff run. Thanks for watching.